Well, I originally got started in painting as sort of an empty nest syndrome kind of thing, but it was something I always wanted to do. All my life, I wanted to learn to watercolor. And so that's kind of what initially opened the door for painting for me, was just an empty nest syndrome and trying to, check off one of those things in life you always wanted to do, which was to watercolor. And so I went to a County community ed class. That was my first watercolor class. But what has kind of kept me there was that, well, I was totally captivated by it. It was just incredible how an artist could take the ordinary and turn it into the extraordinary with composition and color. And so that's kind of what has kept me there, is that fascination with how that artwork can evolve in an artist's hands. And I wanted to be that. I wanted to do that. So that's kind of what got me started. And like I said, what's kept me there is that fascination of how I could see a picture of garden tools, in the gallery one day. And it's just a hoe, a rake, a shovel, and just, an old rusty piece of equipment. And yet, when I saw it painted through that artist's eyes, the colors they used, the way they laid it, the movement, it just fascinated me. It just excited me. And so that's kind of, why I got there and why I stay with it, is that fascination. And then it became more than that to me. It became, if you were to read my bibliography as an artist, I comment about how it helps to keep my sanity. And it does. I mean, as a nurse, you see so much in dealing with the lives of people and the pain and the suffering, that you have to have something, a release, an escape, something to help move you away from that world of nursing back into another perspective, paradigm, someplace in your mind where you can just clear your mind. And when I get started on a piece like this, I can start at 8 in the morning and suddenly look up and go, oh my God, I'm really hungry. It's time to eat lunch. It's 1:30. And so I'm totally lost. It takes everything from my mind that goes into that, the concentration, the focus. So it's really an extreme mental release. And one of my favorite sayings is from Pablo Picasso. He says that art removes the dust from our soul. That's the purpose of art, to remove the dust from our soul. So I feel like, it's removing that dust from my soul and allowing me to kind of clear my mind, clear my soul, and go back to work refreshed. So that's, kind of why I picked art and why I stay with it. Every painting you do is a part of your soul. I mean, it's like I showed you earlier, the door, my door to success. I showed you that painting, and when I painted that, it was an old craggy door with lots of colors. It's big, it's heavy. I have to open it, I have to get through it. It shows that I have to work to get to my success. I think every painting that an artist does takes a chunk of them. I paint pictures of my grandchildren. I love my grandchildren, and when I'm painting their picture, that's part of me and how I see them, how I feel them. When I paint a landscaping scene, it's got to be something that draws me, something that lights a spark in my soul, that I look at it and I go, oh, look at those colors. And that's one of the things you learn as an artist. You become actually more observant. And I think I take that back to my work, is my observation skills, because, red is not just red, blue is not just blue. a patient statement is not just a patient statement. There's more to the story. And I think as we become more observant in use of color in our paintings and subject matter, that comes back and we take that to work with us too.